Hey YouTube, it's me, your girl Andrea here at Helping Hearts 888, and today I'm going to show you guys how I make my pork ribs. These are the Smithfield St. Louis extra tender, extra meaty. I got them from Walmart. Not really sure how much they cost, but right now everything is sky high, so catch them while you can. Okay, so I have my scissors to cut open my meat. You can use a knife, you can use anything. Don't use your teeth. I do have these. It's a pepper and onion blend. I like to do these when I'm throwing something in the oven versus where I'm going to saute or caramelize them, because they are frozen, so they do hold a lot of water in them. I have my garlic powder, any kind, doesn't matter. I have my onion powder. I have my Lowry seasoning salt. I don't use too much of this. This is my go-to. It's the Badia Complete Seasoning. It's amazing on everything, even vegetables. Favorite. I have the adobo. I like to use that a lot too. I have some minced onion. I have some chicken stock. Use chicken, beef, pork, don't matter. I use chicken. And I have some Worcester sauce. Love that whenever I'm putting meat in the oven. So first what you want to do is you want to grab your meat. You want to grab your meat and you want to cut it open, and you want to wash your meat. Not with any dish soap. I seen that on Facebook. I hope that was a joke, but yeah. But you want to wash your meat. I'm not going to show you guys washing the meat because pretty much you should know how to wash your meat off. If you don't though, you are just taking the meat and running it under the water and rinsing it off. I mean, pretty simple mathematics, I'd say, but hey. Make sure your sink is clean too before you wash your meat in it. I like to wash it with kind of warm water. Hey, Stinky. Okay, so a lot of people like to cut this off, this membrane off the back. It's fairly easy to do. Me, I usually don't do it because it doesn't really bother me too much. But if you don't want to eat that, you can go ahead and cut that off. Okay, so what I like to do is take a little, let me put that down where you guys can see. Take a little of my seasoning salt, and I'm going to, I don't have measurements. I don't do that usually, unless it's something that I might need a measuring cup for. Take some of my onion powder. You can go pretty heavy-handed on the onion powder because it's just onion. You can go pretty heavy on it. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so the minced onion, again, you can throw as much of that on there if you want to. Just the seasoning salt, I don't use as much of because I don't like a lot of the salt, and you can achieve that flavor without using that. Now this, I'm pretty heavy on. Now, I do sometimes use minced garlic. I do sometimes use the minced garlic. Okay, now what you're going to be doing, and some people might not like this. You can wear gloves if you want to, but this is for my household. It's for my family. If you want to tell me, that's nasty, you didn't wash your hands, or you didn't wear gloves, or whatever. I'm pretty sure you don't wear gloves when you're cooking for your family in your kitchen, so keep that over there. Keep that over there. Now what I do though is I do wash my hands when I'm going to season my backside, because I just rub that in there and I don't want that to be all over my seasoning containers. Done it before, just rinse them off, that's all. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I am doing the same exact thing, just on the backside. You want to make sure those flavors are in there. It is good to, you can marinate these overnight. Me, I'm not going to do that. And I'm still going to be able to achieve the same thing without doing that. I do like to take a little bit of olive oil and set it on my meat. You always want to lift that up, because a lot of the pieces of meat do have folds in there. So you want to lift it all up and get your seasonings really, really good in there. And you want to get this, you want to get all the seasoning deep down in there as far as you can, so your meat is well seasoned. Okay. Now, next thing I like to do is I like to take a little bit of this, just a little, and I like to just put a little bit on it. It's another reason why I don't use a lot of salt too, because this has a kind of, it has that flavor to it, but people pretty much use that for steak. I use it on everything. When it comes to meats, I like to put it on my meats. I'm going to take some of this, the chicken stock, and I'm going to put it in my bottom. You can use water, but I like to have flavor in it. Yes, son. What are you talking about? Okay, so you're just going to put enough in there. Don't have a measurement on that. You just want to put some on there so your meat does not burn because it's dry, because the grease is going to cook off and then it's going to start to burn, and you don't want that in there. Now then I take, and I've already rinsed off my scissors. So you want to cut your onions. If you don't have this, you can get this at Walmart. If you don't, you can cut up your onions and bell peppers and just put them in there. And that's just for extra flavoring. I don't really eat these. It just adds flavor to the meat. It just adds flavor to it. Now, I've already preheated my oven, but I've only put my oven on 325 because I'm going to let these sit in there so they can get super tender. But that is what they look like. Doesn't look like it's much seasoning on these, but trust me, this right here, just, you know, I'm just going to throw a little bit more on there. You cannot go wrong with that. Just throw a little bit more on there. It's really good though. Try it. Okay, so you are going to grab some foil, enough to cover your pan, and you are going to place that on top of your pan. Make sure you cover all your sides and seal it down, because you don't want to let, I usually use 2 for this pan, so you don't want to let any of that heat out, the steam. You're going to keep all that in there. And then I just cover that up really, really good. Sometimes I like to take those 2 and just pinch them together so you're making sure that none of that heat is escaping. I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to pause this video, and then I'm going to put them together and come back in the process so you can see what it should look like. Okay, so I'm back. I've had the ribs in the oven on 325 for about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm just showing you guys what they are looking like right now. Okay, so that is what they are looking at right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a little bit more of my chicken stock to the bottom. I want to finish this off anyways because I don't like to save them. Now I am going to take some of my Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce. I love Sweet Baby Ray's. Love it. Love it. They have honey mustard. They have teriyaki sauce. They have a buffalo sauce. They have everything. Everything. So actually what I'm doing is I am just putting this in this liquid right now because what I want to do is I want to stir this up in there real good because I'm going to stick them back in the oven, and then later on I am going to come back and I am going to put this all over them.
Mommy, I'm a big girl, Mama.
Yes, you are a big girl. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm just used to being able to grab my pan with my hands. Don't do it. Okay, now I'm going to set that to the side and just want to show you if you could see though. Like, do you see that? Do you see? Like, you know, you could just, you know, it's just like that. It's just like that. You could just pull it apart. But I'm not done with them. I'm going to let them sit in here and bake. I actually like for them to just sit in the sauce. So I am just lifting them and then I'm letting my sauce just, you know. My kids don't really love barbecue sauce, so I'm not going to be drenching them in barbecue sauce because they don't really like it. They say it's spicy. I love it. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I don't know why I'm doing it this way, but I don't care. But I'm going to just take this and I'm just going to do this because I just want some of it on my top while I'm letting it sit in here. And some of my onions and some of my bell peppers. Just want it to sit. And I'm just pouring that on top. And if you don't like something that I use, you do not have to use it, you know. Do it to your liking. I'm just showing you how to make tender baby back ribs. And honestly, these are already super, super tender. I just want to stick them back in and let that sauce seep into my meat. Be careful not to turn your temperatures up too high. As I said, I had put them on 325 because you don't want to put, you don't want it to start burning your sauce on the bottom. But I'm not going to leave them in here too much longer now because they are done. And you want to make sure with them being in this pan, you don't turn it up too high and just leave it. Now, unless you was using like a slow cooker or a pressure cooker, because you don't want your liquids to dry up on the bottom, because that's the way to keep your meat moist, to always have a liquid in the bottom. So I am going to stick this back in the oven, and I will be back. Okay, so I am back, and our ribs are done. And that is the finished product. Now, I just want to show you guys. You don't even need to use this, as you see, you know. I want to show you guys that right there. And as you see, you don't need to use that. They are just, look at that. You don't need to do any of that though. But that is it. If you guys have any questions or comments, or a special way you guys do yours, comment in the comment box below. And if it's your first time here, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you from my family to yours.